Hey, y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent here with Real Property Associates. And today's question that every home buyer should ask is, what is a final walkthrough? And we'll talk a little bit here too about the purpose of this, right? So a final walkthrough is essentially that. It's your last chance to walk through the house prior to closing. And typically, a home buyer will do this before they go ahead and sign their documents and pay the remaining funds that they owe at closing. Now, in certain situations, the timelines are tight and you don't have time to do the final walkthrough before you can sign and pay your remaining funds. So sometimes it's a little bit more simultaneous, that's the word. The main thing here though, as a buyer, is you want to be able to verify that the seller has taken care of the property and maintained it in the condition that you made your offer in. So if the grass is this high, we would ask the seller to mow the grass. If the furnace failed during the closing process, well, then the seller needs to put a new furnace in the house because we bought it with an operational furnace. So essentially what you're doing in that process is you're going to be just doing a last walkthrough, make sure the seller took care of the property and that you're comfortable to go ahead and sign and pay your remaining funds. That's the whole purpose of the final walkthrough. It's not anything super grand. Now, if it's a new construction house, it's a little different. We call it a blue tape walkthrough. And in the blue tape walkthrough, you're going to walk through and you're going to mark all the spots that either are blemishes, mistakes by the builder, and we're going to just be super thorough. A lot of times you'll actually have an inspector come out prior to your blue tape walkthrough so that you can have somebody's fine-tooth comb going over it and making sure that we're not missing anything. So that's your best way to protect yourself in that blue tape walkthrough situation. And then the seller, the builder in that case, would then make those repairs prior to closing, and sometimes after, depending on the repair that's needed, but you're getting a lot of those cosmetic things and issues done because you're buying a brand new house. It's not common though to do an inspection again on the final walkthrough unless you, as the buyer, have some major items that the seller is taking care of. And then in that case, it is completely appropriate for you to then go and have your inspector come back. You'll have to pay the inspector again, but you can have the inspector go back out and verify that that work's been done. So if an invoice doesn't work for you and the final walkthrough, you want to have a little more confidence, you can actually have your inspector come back out with you to verify that the seller did all the work. So that's the final walkthrough in a nutshell. Typically, again, like I said, right before closing and before you pay your funds and sign your documents.